Hello everyone, welcome to the next session of the training. In this session we will be discussing about nested RFC function. What I mean by nested RFC function means that we extract data using two RFCs so far. We started with one RFC function, we extracted data from one table and we put it in our Excel file, then we took some input from the Excel file, then we called the another table. So we called like two times. So instead we can call this RFC and the same time we can also call another RFC to extract the data from the second table what we have seen. So for this exercise also we will be using the same Excel file. Let us modify the same file. Then we can understand what is the actual use of this nested RFC. So let us open our file. Okay, this is our file which we are using from beginning. Okay, right now what we are doing is we called one RFC function module, then we extracted data, saved everything, and we again called this country code with a different table. So we cleared everything and then we called it again. So in a different loop. Instead of this we can do this in one single loop. That's what we are trying to do. If this is in one single loop, we cannot clear the same RFC table because we are calling the same thing again and again. So what we will do is let us add one more RFC function. So let's say we have one table read, then the same table read I will call one more time. Let's say RFC1. Okay, so basically you can call two different function module. In our case we are calling only one function module. You can call two different function module, or we can call two different system and start comparing the data. That is actually the use of this nested RFC. One main use of this nested RFC is you can call two different systems and compare the data. And one more main advantage what we will see in your practical scenarios, that you have quite a lot of data that you cannot extract and keep it like this and start comparing the data based on the extraction. You need to do the same comparison in the same loop. Because of the number of data, the high volume of data, you cannot handle it in Excel. So in that kind of situations that you can use this kind of nested RFC. So what we did here, we created one more RFC1 which is also calling the same function module. So we will use this one. What I am going to do, I will remove this I. So we are going to use the same loop for I loop. Okay, let me keep it in the same loop. Okay, here we extract the first record, save all the related information in the Excel file. Then in this case we don't need this, okay, because anyway we have this already. Here company name. So here then what I will do is, instead of RFC I will clear the RFC1. Okay, and I will export this table into RFC1 and add this row into RFC1, and I will also add this text into the RFC1. The same like this, we will be calling the RFC1 from here, then we will extract C1 from here. So the same time we are going to call two RFC call to the same system. So that is the idea behind this. So I changed everything, I believe nothing is left out so far. Okay, then here instead of I will say I, then we write the data back. Now we deleted everything. Okay, now we can execute this one, but I can foresee a problem here. The problem is because we are calling the same function module again as an RFC1 outside the loop. So this is defined outside the loop, so that will be a problem. So we need to define this one inside the loop, because since we are using the same function module, then this will be a problem. So we need to define this inside the function module. Okay, and query RFC1. Then this RFC1 is not necessary here anyway. We'll do that, comment it out, or we can simply delete this. Okay, so here this RFC is required just to find out how many number of records are there. So we did the RFC1 and RFC. We can also put a if condition here, then it will be quite easy to do. Let's verify, because we need to call the RFC. Let's say if RFC dot call equal to true, then execute this. And if okay, we already removed the country code from here. We'll directly save the country name into the worksheet. Okay, let's try to execute now. I'm using F8 step by step. We got the total number of records. RFC call is fine. Then we got the country code. Let's populate the information to the worksheet. Okay, then we were calling the second RFC. Now we added the values. This is now DE. Let's see. Now it is Germany, and we will add the country name to the worksheet. Okay, let's try the next second record. Done. Then the third record. United States. Like this, we can call two different RFC in the same loop using two different names. So instead of using one, we can use two different names. Then we can do two functions in the same time. So it's not necessary that you need to have one RFC call. You need to extract the whole thing and you need to redo the validation. So if you want to have a validation within SAP, then we can do that. So the advantage, as I said, if your database or the table which you are going to read is quite big and you want to do validation before extracting the data and saving into our worksheet, you want to do this kind of validation, then we can use this kind of nested RFCs. You can use in the same function module, or if you are using a different function module, you can use it for a different function module. You can compare two different systems. That is a very good example actually. If you have a quality system and a productive system, or if you have two ERP system which you wanted to compare, then it will be quite easy for you to do this comparison using this nested RFC. Okay, let me execute. I will press F5 and execute. And here we need to remember one more point. Until unless it is necessary, it is better we don't use this kind of nested RFCs. The reason behind that is it is going to take quite a lot of resources from your system. So if you wanted to have a better performance, then we need to avoid this kind of nested RFC, because it will consume the resources in the system. And one more point, maybe you already have it in your mind, that whenever we log into our SAP system, of course we need to log off. So if you wanted to free the resource, we need to always log off from the SAP system. So how do we log off from the SAP system? Using VBA. Actually it is quite simple. We just take our object SAP function, that is SAP, right? Our value is SAP. We say SAP dot connection dot log off. That's very straightforward. We simply log off from the system. It's always better whenever you use an SAP connection. When you finish your program, just log off from that system so that you can free the resources. This is nested RFC. So we already discussed the scenarios when we can use this. Then that kind of scenarios, then you can use this nested RFC, or you can also mainly use it in the comparing two different systems. With this, we are coming to the end of this section. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next session. Bye bye.